School of Management Studies, IGNOU presents an audiobook on the course Mmpc 006 Marketing Management for MBA program. Block 4 Sectoral Applications and Emerging Issues. Unit 13 Marketing of Services. Part 2.
Promotion. The fundamental difference which must be kept in mind while designing the promotion strategy for services is that the customer relies more on subjective impressions rather than concrete evidence. This is because of the inherent intangible nature of services. Secondly, the customer is likely to judge the quality of service on the basis of the performer rather than the actual service. Thirdly, since it is difficult to sample the service before paying for it, the customer finds it difficult to evaluate its quality and value. Thus, buying a service is a riskier proposition than buying a product. As a marketing manager, you must design a promotion strategy which helps the customer overcome these constraints. The 4 methods used for promoting services are advertising, personal selling, publicity, and sales promotion. They are the same as used in the promotion of products. We shall now discuss them in the context of services. Advertising. Advertising is any kind of paid, non-personal method of promoting by an identified organization or individual. Certain services such as entertainment like cinema or theater, passenger and freight transport like roadways, airlines and trains, hotel, tourism and travel, insurance, etc. have been advertising heavily in newspapers, magazines, radio, TV to promote greater usage and attract more customers. However, certain service professionals such as doctors and lawyers have rarely used advertising as a means of increasing their clientele. A study conducted by J.R. Darling and D.W. Hackett in 1978 revealed that doctors, dentists, lawyers and accountants have a negative attitude towards advertising their services. But today, it's been the other way around. These groups have traditionally relied on word of mouth for attracting new customers. But this situation is changing, and you can see an advertisement in the daily newspaper giving information about the location and timings that a particular doctor is available for consultation. These advertisements may also carry the message, that is, honorary doctor to the President of India or ex-director of a prestigious medical college or institution. Such messages help create positive image and credibility. The guideline which can be kept in mind while promoting services are: Number 1. Use simple, clear messages. Number 2. Emphasize the benefits of service. Number 3. Promise only that which can be delivered and do not exaggerate claims. Number 4. Build on the word-of-mouth communication by using testimony of actual consumers in advertisements. And number 5. Provide tangible clues to services by using well-known personalities or objects to help customers identify the service. This is being done by Indian Railways in their advertising on TV, wherein they are using well-known sports personalities to talk about the importance of railways to the nation's economic development and protection of railway property. One other aspect which is of importance in designing an appropriate advertising strategy is the high level of consumer-organization interaction required in certain types of services, such as beauty salons, management consultants, and doctors. In these type of services, the objectives of advertising have been identified as: Number 1. Creating an understanding of the company in the customer's mind by describing the company's services, activities, and its area of expertise. Number 2. Creating a positive image for the company. Number 3. Building a strong sense of identification with the customer by tuning in onto his needs, values, and attitudes. And number 4. Creating a positive background for the salespeople to sell the services by providing all relevant information about the company. Personal selling. The problem with using personal selling to promote services is that in certain types of services, the service cannot be separated from the performer. Moreover, it is not a homogeneous service in which exact standards of performance can be specified. In such situations, personal selling implies using an actual professional rather than a salesman to sell the service. A firm of management consultants may send one of its consultants, junior or senior, depending on the kind of customer being attended to, for soliciting new business. This kind of personal selling is certainly effective but also very expensive. One way of making personal selling more cost-effective is to create derived demand by tying up with associated products and services. A management consultant may associate with a bank so that the bank recommends his consultant's name to any new entrepreneur coming for a loan. A chain of hotels may team up with an airline to offer a concessional package tour, as has been successfully done for promoting Nepal and is being done by Vayu Doot and Indian Airlines and Jammu and Kashmir Tourism Department way back in the 70s. The other way is to maintain a high visibility in professional and social organizations, getting involved in community affairs and cultivating other professionals so as to maximize personal exposure and the opportunities for getting work from new sources. Publicity. Publicity is unpaid for exposure which is derived by getting coverage as a news or editorial item. It is possible to get publicity when the service which you are offering is unique and therefore newsworthy by holding a press conference in which you can associate your service with some issues of greater social relevance, or by involving the interest of the newspaper or its staff in covering your service. The important point about publicity is that your choice of the newspaper, magazine, and journal should be correct. The vehicle which you choose must be credible and enjoy a reputation of being trustworthy. Wrong choice of media vehicle will result in adverse publicity. Sales promotion. In the case of services, the sales promotion techniques which are used are varied and various in number. A doctor may charge lesser amount of fee on subsequent visits to encourage the patient's loyalty. Pediatrician may send reminder cards to parents about their children's pending inoculations. A car mechanic may offer a guarantee for repairs undertaken up to 3 months. A chartered accountant may offer his services free for the first 2 visits to allow the customer to evaluate his work. In services, sales promotion techniques are used to offset their perishability characteristic, like family discounts offered by hotels in off-season in which 2 children under 12 are allowed free of charge, and to overcome the problems faced by customers in evaluating and judging the quality before making the purchase. Sales promotion techniques reduce the risk associated with the purchase. Distribution. The most important decision element in the distribution strategy relates to the issue of location of the service so as to attract the maximum number of consumers. The inseparability characteristic of services, such as those of doctors, teachers, consultants, mechanics, etc., poses a distribution constraint since they are able to serve only a limited, localized market. The other characteristic of services which affects the distribution strategy is the fixed location of services such as universities, restaurants, hospitals, which necessitates the customer to go to the service location rather than vice versa. The first decisional variable in planning the distribution strategy relates to the location of the service. In deciding where to locate your service, you should raise certain questions as they would help you arrive at the right decision. Number 1. How important is the location of the service to the customers? Will an inconvenient location lead to purchase being postponed or being taken over by a competitor? The answer is yes in case of services such as dry cleaning, fast food outlets where convenience is the most critical factor. The answer is no in case of services provided by doctors and beauty parlors, where the customer's involvement with the provider of the service is very high and the decision is made on the basis of reputation, competence, and past experience. Number 2. Is the service technology-based or people-based? How does the technology or people factor affect the choice of locations? How flexible is the service? Can the equipment and people be moved to another location without any loss in quality? And number 3, how important are complementary services to the location decision? Can the clientele be increased by locating services where complementary products or services already exist? Garages and mechanic shops located next to petrol stations are examples of complementary location decision. The second decisional variable in the distribution strategy is whether to sell directly to the customers or through intermediaries. In case of services which are inseparable from the performer, direct sale is the only possible way of reaching the consumer. In case of other services such as hotels, airlines, property, life insurance, they may operate through middlemen. The third decisional variable in the distribution strategy is how to provide the service to maximum number of customers in the most cost-effective manner, if the service is not of the kind that is inseparable. Some of the recent innovations in the area are rental or leasing, franchising, and service integration. India has witnessed a boom in the leasing business since 1982. Leasing or rental offer is an easy solution for companies which want to expand and diversify but do not have the necessary resources to buy the required plant and machinery. Leasing offers them use of equipment, machines, and building on the basis of a rental rather than outright purchase. Leasing is also available for buying cars and other consumer durables. This trend is now also becoming popular in services. Today we have the concept of time sharing for holiday resorts. By making a one-time payment or paying an annual rental, you become eligible to use accommodation facilities for holiday in the place of your choice. Some holiday resort companies offer you the facility forever, while others offer it for limited time duration. Sterling Resorts, MS Resorts, Punjab Tourism Resorts, and Dalmia Resorts are some of the companies which offered this service during the 80s. The other recent trend in distribution of services is that of franchising. Franchising is the granting of right to another person or institution to exploit a trade name, trademark, or product in return for a lump sum payment or a royalty. Companies have paid to use Appu the elephant, which was used as the mascot for New Delhi Asian Games in 1982 to promote their products. This is an example of franchising in which companies have sought to increase their sales or enhance their image by associating with a well-known international event or personality like Walt Disney characters such as Mickey Mouse. The other variation of this kind of franchising is when companies pay for the use of the phrase official suppliers. Franchising is also widely used in services where some kind of homogeneity is possible, as in the case of restaurants, beauty salons, health clubs, etc. Quality, the manufacturer of quality ice creams and managers of chain restaurants have established restaurants in major cities on the basis of franchise arrangements. International hotel chains such as Holiday Inn, Sheraton, Intercontinental have expanded worldwide using this franchising strategy. Recent times have also witnessed the growth of integrated service system. Hotels may also offer local tours. This is being done by India Tourism Development Corporation, that is ITDC, which offers to its clients conducted tours to important tourist spots besides the hotel facility. This facility is offered under the name of Ashoka Travels and Tours. Hotel chains such as Taj, Oberoi, Welcome Group offer the facility of making reservations in any of their associate hotels in the chain. Travel agencies offer package tours in which they take care of all formalities such as visa, foreign exchange, reservations, local travel, etc. Many computer companies offer free training for the employees of their customers on how to operate the computer. All these trends highlight the importance of using innovative methods to overcome the inherent characteristics of service products which make their distribution a complex affair. People People constitute an important dimension in the management of services in their role both as performers of service and as customers. People as performers of service are important because a customer sees a company through its employees. The employees represent the first line of contact with the customer. They must therefore be well informed and provide the kind of service that wins customer approval. The firm must recognize that each employee is a salesman for the company's service. The importance of customers in services stems from the fact that most services imply active and involved customer organization interface. Service personnel. Service personnel are important in all organizations, but more so in an organization involved in providing services. The behavior and attitude of the personnel providing the service is an important influence on the customer's overall perception of the service, and he can rarely distinguish between the actual service rendered and the human element involved in it. How often have you had the experience of holding on to a telephone after dialing for assistance or trunk booking and receiving no response? Check with your parents or relatives who had experienced this poor response previously when mobile services were not introduced in the country. What do you think has been the role and contribution of the operators towards giving our telephone system the image which it has during those days? The case of telephone operators is still controllable because the telephone system presents a low contact organization. Higher or low contact is defined on the basis of percentage of total time the customer has to spend in the system compared with the relative time it takes to service him. By this definition, restaurants, hospitals, schools represent a low contact organization. High or low contact is defined on the basis of organizations. The other important distinction of service personnel is between those that are visible to the customer and those that are not. In a restaurant, the waiters are visible while the cook in the kitchen is not. As a marketing manager, you have to devote more time training the visible personnel since they have greater responsibility in maintaining relations with the customer. The rice dish which is not cooked properly is the cook's fault, but it is the waiter who will have to bear the brunt of the customer's anger. The manner in which the waiter behaves with the customer will be an important determinant in the restaurant losing that customer forever or retaining him as a regular client. As a marketing manager, your primary concern is the visible service personnel, and especially so if yours is a high contact organization. You have to be concerned with the ways in which you can improve the quality and performance of your service personnel. This can be done through number 1, careful selection and training of personnel. Number 2, laying down norms, rules and procedures to ensure consistent behavior. Number 3, ensuring consistent appearance. And number 4, reducing the importance of personal contact by introducing automation and computerization wherever possible. Customers. Customers are important because they are a source of influencing other customers. In the case of doctors, lawyers, consultants, one satisfied customer will lead to a chain reaction, bringing in his wake a number of other customers. Thus, as a marketing manager, your first task should be to ensure complete satisfaction of the existing customers. The kind of customers that you attract exerts an important influence on prospective customers. The prospective customer may feel attractive towards the organization. It may be a restaurant, club, school, or college because it has his type of customers, or it has the customer clientele towards which he himself is aspiring. On the other hand, the customer may turn away if he perceives the existing customers to be the kind with whom he would not like to be associated. You have to decide about the class of customers you would like to have and work towards providing your service organization an image which will fetch you your future customers. The physical appearance of your organization, the looks and behavior of service personnel, the delivery of the service have all to be tuned into a desirable composite package. Physical evidence. Cleanliness in doctor's clinic, exterior appearance and interior decor of restaurant, the comfort of the seating arrangement in a cinema hall, adequate facility for personal needs at the airport, all contribute towards the image of the service, that is organization, as perceived by the customer. The common element in these is that they are all physical, tangible and controllable aspects of a service organization. They constitute the physical evidence of the service. There may be two kinds of physical evidence. Number 1, peripheral evidence, and number 2, essential evidence. Peripheral evidence is actually possessed as a part of the purchase of service, but by itself is of no value. Airline ticket, checkbook, receipt for a confirmed reservation in a hotel are examples of peripheral evidence. A checkbook is of value only if you have money in the bank. Without that, it is of no significance. Peripheral evidence adds on to the value of essential evidence. In a hotel, you may find matchbox, writing pad, pen, complimentary flowers and drinks which you may take away. These are representations of peripheral evidence. Such evidence must be designed keeping in mind the overall image which the organization wishes to project and the reminder value of the evidence in its ability to remind the customer about the organization. Whereas peripheral evidence is possessed and taken away by the customer, the essential evidence cannot be possessed by the customer, like the building, its size and design, interior layout and decor, logo, and mnemonic device of the organizations are constituents of the essential evidence. The essential evidence is a very critical input in determining the atmosphere and environment of the service organization. Contrast the essential evidence of a 5-star hotel, its long driveway, grand entrance manned by a liveried doorman, sophisticated decor of lobby with that of a fast food outlet with bright colors, loud music and bright lights, and judge the kind of rich and formal atmosphere of the former with the relaxed and casual atmosphere of the latter. You can use physical evidence to build a strong association in the customer's minds and also to differentiate your service from the competition. As a marketing manager, it is your responsibility to manage the physical evidence in order to create the ideal environment for your service. You can do this in 2 ways. 1, by making the service more tangible, and 2, by making it easier for the customer to grasp the concept of the service. One obvious way of making the service more tangible is by developing a tangible representation of the service, as is done in case of credit cards. Credit cards have a physical entity and are identifiable by their brand name, like American Express, Diners, Visa, BOB, that is Bank of Baroda, and distinct looks of the card. Other ways by which a service can be made more tangible is by standardizing the physical attributes such as location, interior decor, color scheme, etc. Most airlines use a dress for all their staff to help create a sense of identification. Quality ice cream vendors and the packaging container for ice creams have a standardized design of blue stripes on a white background. Similarly, Indian Airlines' white and orange color combination is well recognized. The second way is to make it easier for the consumer to understand the concept of the service which you are offering with easily perceived objects and ideas. Promoters of package tours may provide detailed information about the hotel, food and transport facility they would be using to help the consumers understand the concrete dimensions of the tour and thus reduce their anxiety arising out of uncertainty. Information which helps reduce uncertainty and provides specific information about the various dimensions of the service should be provided to prospective consumers. As a marketing manager, you can help the consumers to understand the service you're offering by stressing the organization and consumer relationship. Advertising agencies assign one account executive or a team to a particular client to help him identify with the agency. Process. In service organization, the system by which you receive delivery of the service constitutes the process. In fast food outlets, the process comprises buying the coupons at one counter and picking up the food against that at another counter. The process of delivery function can be compared with that of operation management in a manufacturing unit. In a factory situation, operations management implies the conversion of input into the finished product. But in a service organization, there is no clear-cut input or output. Rather, it is the process of adding value or utility to system inputs to create outputs which are useful for the customers. Services can be described on the basis of type of process used in the delivery of the service. The three kinds of delivery processes that are applicable in case of service products are line operations, job shop operations, and intermittent operations. Self-service restaurants and shops are examples of line operations. The consumer moves through logically arranged operations which are arranged in a sequence. In a self-service departmental store, the consumer starts picking up the items he needs and pays for them near the exit. This kind of delivery process is relevant when the service you are providing is fairly standard and the consumer's requirement is of routine nature. When the consumers require a combination of services using different sequences, the job shop type of operation is more useful. Hospitals, restaurants, and educational institutions usually have this type of delivery process. In a hospital, some patients need only consultation in the outpatient department, that is OPD. Some others may need consultation as well as medication or X-ray. Some patients require hospitalization for surgery, medication, or investigations. All these categories of consumers require a different combination of the hospital's services. In a restaurant, consumers order their own combination of dishes. A college may offer courses for full-time students as well as for working people through correspondence. Intermittent operations are useful when the type of service is rarely repeated. Firms offering consultancy for projects use this kind of delivery system. Advertising agencies also use the intermittent delivery system since each advertising campaign requires a unique set of input factors. As a manager, you are interested in optimizing the efficiency of your organization without sacrificing the qualitative aspect. Some of the critical questions you need to focus upon are: Number 1. What are the specific steps involved in delivering the service to the consumer? Number 2. Are they arranged in the most logical sequence? Number 3. If not, can some steps be eliminated, combined, or rearranged to form a smoother sequence? Number 4. What are the steps in which the consumer is involved? Number 5. Can the consumer's contact be reduced or totally eliminated? And number 6. Can we introduce automation to speed up the delivery processes? Now let's summarize the unit. Services can be distinguished from products on the basis of their characteristics of intangibility, inseparability, heterogeneity, lack of ownership, and perishability. These characteristics pose a challenge to the marketing manager who has to find solution to constraints imposed by these features. The marketing of services requires an extended marketing mix comprising production pricing, promotion and distribution, as well as people, physical evidence, and process. The marketer has to lay great stress on the last 3 elements of the marketing strategy and combine them with the first 4 to achieve a harmonious blend which fulfills the customer's want satisfaction.
We were listening to the audiobook by the School of Management Studies IGNOU for MBA program, course code Mmpc 006, Marketing Management. Course Coordinator Professor T.B. Vijay Kumar, School of Management Studies IGNOU. Voiceover by Harpreet Kaur. Edited by Savita. Program assisted by Tarannum Jahan and Jagbandhu Jana. Program produced by Dr. Manoj Kumar Singh. This program was brought to you by Electronic Media Production Center of Indira Gandhi National Open University.